All right, so Penn State's a team that I've struggled to trust in the past because I've put my faith in them in big moments and they've let me down multiple times. But this team this year, it just feels different. And I'm going to explain why in this video. If you're new here, please subscribe. We're building this era empire brick by brick, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. So the makeup of this Penn State team is incredible. Let's start with Drew Aller. I'm as big of a Drew Aller supporter and advocate as you'll see out there. I think Drew Aller is incredible. His arm strength, his escapability, his mobility, his downfield vision is getting better and better every game. His confidence is really starting to flourish. And I firmly believe that he'll be the best quarterback in college football next year. He's a first-round draft pick in the making. Truly entertaining to watch. The two-headed monster at running back with Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen. They're both 1,000-yard rushers on the same team, so they've been splitting snaps, and they both have over 1,000 rushing yards. That's almost unheard of. That's incredible. And then you have an absolute freak in a tight end in Tyler Warren. He's probably the best tight end prospect that you've seen since Brock Bowers. Even though he was just drafted last year, Tyler Warren is incredible. And then Harrison Wallace III at wide receiver. He can cause mismatch nightmares for opponents. Defensively, so many dogs on this Penn State team. Of course, it goes out saying, you got Abdul Carter, who has 81 sack yards this year. An absolute nightmare for opposing offensive lines to go up against. You've got Kobe King, who's an absolute dog, as well as Jalen Reed. I mean, this is a punishing defense that I'd hate to go up against. They hit hard. They're well coached. They play fundamentally well. It's scary as hell to play. Statistically, they're fifth in opponent yards per game, and they're a top 10 rushing defense. That's the name of their game, and that's what's gotten them to where they are at this point in the season. That's been their recipe for success on the defensive side of the ball. It's a hard-nosed, lunch pail to work kind of Penn State Northeast defense, and I love to see it. That's how you win football games in the cold. This Penn State team, it's so challenging to prepare for, because there's so many elements, there's so many components that you have to take into account. It's slowing down Drew Aller, who seems to be gaining confidence every week. You know, you saw glimmers of greatness in him in 2023. You saw more this year, but now the young man is really starting to get into a groove. He's showing off that deep ball. They're driving on that field with fury, and I love to see his growth. That two-headed running back monster, you slow down Katron, then you got Singleton. You know, what do you do? How do you prepare for that? How do you slow that down? Trust me, there's teams that are equipped to do it out there, and Notre Dame is one of them. That defensive line is punishing, don't get me wrong, but that's a tall task. And then slowing down a Tyler Warren, who has over 1,000 receiving yards, but is also a great blocker, great fundamental football player as well. How do you slow that down? And then that defensive line coming at you. They're hitting your quarterback. They're slowing down the run. Penn State's secondary is really good. There's not a lot of holes from a roster standpoint with this football team. So how do you scheme up for something like that? It poses a massive challenge. I think this may be the deepest Penn State team that I've seen under James Franklin. And for that reason, they may have their best shot at winning a national championship as they've had yet under him. My biggest concern with Penn State, though, and I'm not one to sit here and criticize play calling because I know how high pressure of a job and position that is, and I haven't done it myself. But I will say that even just watching Penn State's play calling from my standpoint as a fan, an observer, and somebody who has a talk show on YouTube, it can be frustrating. It can be agonizing sometimes because you see wide open opportunities that they're missing constantly. This team can dominate and pull away in almost every game that they're in. They should have a lot earlier against SMU, and they should have a lot earlier against Boise State as well. When you have that much talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball, don't outthink the room. Use the weapons that you have. There's not a lot of guys out there that are going to be able to cover Tyler Warren. You saw what he did against USC. Why not just copy and paste that? There's multiple packages that I see every quarter with Penn State. There's a lot of packages where Tyler Warren's not even out there. I'm looking at the field like, where's 44? Where's 44? He's not there. It's unbelievable. Get him out there more. Feed Tyler Warren the ball. Don't overthink this. Lean into your two-headed monster at running back and Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. It's there. Those weapons are there. Use it. If you've got a great driver in your bag and you're on a par 5, use that thing. Crush that ball. Don't outthink the room. You've got the weapons to get the job done. You don't need to prove that you're a wizard at play calling. And if something's working, don't stray away from it. If you're an aux at a party, you got a trap music playlist going. People are digging the Kodak. They're digging the NBA Youngboy. Don't start playing EDM. Cue up some more Young Dolph. Really get that thing jumping. The same with Penn State's, and I see them do this a lot. They'll get the run game going, and they'll start passing the ball. They'll get some traction going in the passing game. They'll start running the ball. If something's working, keep doing it. Delve into it more, because there's very few teams that can go step for step with Penn State from a talent standpoint. So if you find a mismatch, take advantage of it. Don't stray away from it. There's a team in the NFL that does this a lot too. The Baltimore Ravens. They'll find something that's really working, and instead of investing in it more and calling those plays more, they'll stray away from it. They'll get the run game going strong with Lamar and Derrick Henry, and then they'll start passing the ball. I'm like, what are you doing? The run game is working. Take advantage of that. There's a mismatch. They can't stop the run. And it's the same thing as Penn State, because there's only so many teams out there that can stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So if you get that train going, it's not going to stop. You get that Katron Singleton train going, good luck stopping that. And if you have a mismatch with Tyler Warren, oh, good night. Feed 44 the ball. Both of those teams, they're almost identical, because both Penn State and the Ravens are capable of winning a championship in their respective leagues. Penn State can win a Natty. Baltimore can win a Super Bowl. But they get in their own way sometimes, and they overthink things from a play calling standpoint. If you have a mismatch, or your run game is really working, your pass game is really working, don't switch up and do the opposite. Invest more into what's working. I can't wait to see what this Penn State team does. I firmly believe that this is Penn State's best team yet under James Franklin, and this is the team that he's had that's had the best chance of winning a national championship so far. I can't wait to see if they capitalize. So many guys on this team that I like. Drew Aller, a big Katron Allen guy. Love Tyler Warren, Abdul Carter, absolute dog. And as of right now, it looks like there's a pretty good chance that he will play in the Orange Bowl. We'll be keeping an eye on that, but he should be taking the field against Notre Dame. But I can't wait to see what these Nittany Lions do. It's a very exciting time right now in State College. Have a great day.